Hello there. Hello. I'm 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 here to talk about money today. Something I don't talk a lot about either. I don't talk a lot about money because I'm not obsessed with it like a lot of people, but the thing I wanted to talk about, this is a little bit silly maybe, and you're going to think this is the silliest thing you ever saw. Well, I want to talk about my concept of stopping or ending inflation for the moment. And we talk about inflation a little bit, and it's something that's going high right now, and everybody's all upset about it, and I can understand. And it's kind of like, I get a little bit more, and then they say, well, then we're going to get a little bit more. And then, the prices go up, and then I want to raise, and then I want to raise, and the prices go up because my boss says I can't afford to pay these people so much without raising my prices, and it just goes whoop, 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 one after another, up, up, up. And there's something that is interesting, at least in my lifetime in the United States, is that a lot of the times that inflation is going up are during very good economic times. I know that sounds terrible, but inflation makes it a bad economic time. But when we're having a depression or a recession, inflation doesn't go up, and it tends to go down because when people are out of work, nobody has any money, so that they have to go shop around for the cheapest possible thing. But when everybody has a job and everybody has money in their pocket, they buy, and all the retailers go, oh boy, and they raise their prices because they want to make as much money as they can. Then we complain and we say we aren't making enough money to pay our bills, and then they want to give us a raise, and it goes whoop, 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 one after another, up, 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 up. And the people are afraid of inflation because in some places, not ever United States, but in some places, inflation has really destroyed people, destroyed the country. They talk about, the inflation in Germany before World War II was like at 300%. It was ridiculous. And then Venezuela just had really bad inflation. Now, I'm kind of getting off the track, but I want to talk about how to cure inflation or how to think about it, because, inflation throughout my entire life has existed. So, like, I'm looking at these prices they had in 1963, and just like, for example, I can go back farther and it'll be even lower. But throughout my entire life, like, for example, chicken was 29 cents a pound in 1963. And a new home was about $19,300 back in 1963. And milk was 49 cents a gallon in 1963. And pork chops were, they were 59 cents a pound. And different, a car costs on the average $2,460 in 1963, and I can go on, including minimum wage, which minimum wage in 1963 was, I'm looking it up here. The Dow Jones was at 762. All right, in 1963. Minimum wage is $1.25 an hour in 1963. Now I noticed something. That was how many years ago? 60 years ago, but 50 years ago. But it's about 1/10 of what everything is now. Generally, like minimum wage is 1/10 of what is now, and houses are about 1/10 of what they, depending upon where you live. So now let me just tell you that I think I spoke about this on another one of my videos, but my favorite SpongeBob cartoon, which is the one where SpongeBob gets Barnacle or Mermaid Man's belt. He has this belt says M on it, Mermaid Man, and he gets a hold of it, and Mermaid Man's belt has a shrink ray on it. So SpongeBob all of a sudden starts shrinking stuff, kind of by accident at first. Shrinks all his friends. He shrinks Squidward and Patrick and Mr. Krabs and Sandy and all. He shrinks them all down to about this big, right? And they get all mad and said, SpongeBob, you gotta do something about it. Then he goes around, he's trying to he's out of control. He can't figure out how to use this thing. And he shrinks everybody in Bikini Bottom. All the inhabitants of Bikini Bottom are like 3 inches tall. And he puts them all in a jar and they're all mad. You better get us fixed. He says, oh my gosh, he says, wait, I have an idea, he says. And then he turns and he shrinks all the buildings. Everything in Bikini Bottom, the entire town, he shrinks it. Then he turns the belt around and he shrinks himself. And they all look around and the buildings are the right size to them and everything's right now. And he says, see, I fixed it, he says. And they look around and they say, yeah, what's the difference? No difference. See, this is the cure to inflation in the United States and around the world. Here's what we do. We just move the decimal point on everything over one space to the left, right? Is it to the left? No, one space to the right. So, no, one space to the left. That's right. Well, so if your car cost you $29,000, and you move the decimal point down one space to the left, then it only costs you $290. So we're back to back to earlier times, and that goes for everything. The price of chicken is like $2.90 a pound, $2.90 a pound. Move it over, it's 29 cents a pound again. And then everything, and that includes your pay that you get. So like right now you're making $12.50 an hour as minimum wage or whatever it is in this state. Well, you move it over, it's $1.20 an hour again. And then if you have like $1 million in the bank, now you only have $100,000 in the bank. Elon Musk is worth $100 billion. Well, now he's only worth $10 billion. See, what's the difference? We got rid of inflation. Inflation just disappeared overnight. Now, there's one problem, I guess, is the interest rates. You're going to move the interest rates over one decimal point. So, like, if it's at 11%, then it's only going to be at 1.1%. Well, I don't know. And what's the difference? So I know this might be the silliest economic policy in the history of the world, but there it is.